What's going on, guys? It is Up to Speed podcast episode 9, and today it's just me and Theo.
Yeah.
Are you ready for this, Theo?
Yeah, I'm ready.
We are going to be talking about the crew reviews, the crew's price cut, the crew versus NFS 2015, Grand Theft Auto Online, the heist trailer, and Forza Horizon 2 Storm Island DLC.
Yeah, the crew reviews, right? That's probably a good starting point. Now,
Yeah.
you read a lot of them. I've mainly checked out like the IGN, GameSpot, and I think it was Eurogamer one.
Yeah.
Out of all of them, Eurogamer gave it like an 8, which was the highest I've seen, and the majority of them have been about 5 or 6 out of 10.
Yeah.
Which isn't great. Like, it's like when you think of it on paper, like 6 out of 10, that's good. But in gaming, you never really see that unless it's like really bad, like indie kind of stuff that's been thrown together. Like, I'm sure Goat Simulator's doing better on Metacritic or something than than the crew, which is kind of annoying because I can't see like what people really dislike about the game, other than the fact that the graphics don't look great. Like, it's not terrible, but I mean, you can tell that could be a factor. But other than that, I don't know.
Okay, everything's just running through my head when I was thinking about the embargo, when I said it's going to flop, and like you said, I've checked out a lot of reviews, and my favorite is also the Eurogamer one. Not just because it's the highest rated, but it seemed like they knew what they were talking about, unlike the others. And yeah, it got an 8 from Eurogamer, and overall, my opinion on the game, I think it's okay so far. Still haven't played it, but yeah, Eurogamer, they knew what they was talking about, and they gave an 8.0, so that's the one I regard.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at the other ones, they don't really explain many of the features of the game, whereas in a normal review, they kind of like list the major features, and they'd be like, oh, I think there's one of them that's like, oh, it's not an MMO because it's 8 people, and it's like, well, it's a simulated MMO, like Destiny is, for example. Destiny does the exact same thing, and you class that as an MMO, so why is the crew not? And it's...
because it's got cars.
Yeah, because it's got cars, it doesn't look very pretty, it's not Need for Speed, it's not Forza, so it's no good.
You know what? To everyone saying the crew, it looks ugly, I actually don't think it does. For what it is, I think the graphics are very good.
Yeah, I don't think it looks bad at all. When you actually play it and you see like the blades of grass, and I know that's like a little tiny thing, but to render that, you don't see many games do that. Like GTA doesn't render all the grass in front of you, as the crew does it for miles as far as you can see. If they toned that back, they could have easily, made the game look a lot better. But the thing is, they would have to make the whole map look better, and they started development of this game like 7 years ago now. So to change all of it in that time, it would have caused another delay, meaning it would have taken like 10 years to develop the game, which would have just been half of it wasted. So, but yeah, it's kind of depressing to see the scores of it, to be honest, because it does not deserve those scores at all. Like, there are far worse games today. Call of Duty. Do I even have to like begin with that?
You talk about Advanced Warfare?
Oh.
Or just the series?
The whole series, like, it never changes. They change the graphics a little bit. It doesn't look amazing. Battlefield dominates like the FPS market in graphics, but does it get low scores because of it? No, it's I think maybe the majority of them, like, they probably don't like races for a start, but they probably don't like the fact that I don't know, like, the game is I don't know, like, you never really see kind of smaller new studio racing games getting really good scores. It's always Need for Speed, Forza, Gran Turismo. That's about it. Like, all the other games, like, you never really see them get any praise for anything. They're like, oh, it's okay, or it's pretty bad. I don't know.
Yeah, that's actually a good point,
You never really see it. But then again, there aren't a whole lot of them, to be honest. So, thanks, dog. Yeah. But to add to that, when I went into game today, because I got a gift card, so I thought, oh, I'm gonna see what's around. And as soon as you walk in there, there's a lot of Ubisoft titles. Now, I saw the crew there, and it was £24.99, and I
Wow.
was like, wait, what? This is the PlayStation 4 version. Like,
Ouch.
so they must have had a price cut or something because the game's not selling too well.
Hmm.
Because I checked on Amazon, £24.99. I checked on the game website, £24.99. They had it, Christmas deal, but no, that's not what it is.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
the price cut. Like Amazon didn't mention that. So, and also one thing I noticed, you know how Unity has been done pretty badly. Launch it's
Yeah.
still not like fully working and stuff. At least they're actually giving back to the people that got the season pass. You can get the crew or Far Cry with if you got the season pass, but they actually cut the price down on that game as well to
Hmm.
£30, still more than the crew, and that came
Yeah.
out before the crew, I believe. So,
I see what's going on here. The reason why Assassin's Creed is more is because it's a more established franchise.
yeah, true, yeah.
But with Crew,
It's not broken. That's like,
yeah,
and also like, I don't know. There's no sales figures coming out or anything. Like,
hmm,
usually when the game launches that week, you get which game's at the top of the charts for that week. VG charts adds a couple of numbers in there. They may not always be right on VG charts, but there's still
yeah,
something to base the idea around. But there's nothing. It says 0 on VG charts for every platform. And
mm.
they've not come out and said anything. I don't know. It's weird. Like, it's just, has it done that bad that they're just hiding it and they've brought the price down, and which would be weird. I
Yeah.
can't imagine it doing that bad. No game really does, seriously bad when it comes to
I
AAA.
don't want to be the guy to say I told you so, but Ubisoft, I think about the embargo and man, it's just such a shame.
I think the embargo would have contributed, but at the same time, it shouldn't have made that big of a deal. Like, if people see the game and like the look of it, they usually do pick it up anyway.
Yeah.
Like the majority. Obviously, there's going to be people that always wait back, but I wouldn't think that's like a significant number. But I think I can't tell exactly what's led it down like to people, because people see it and the majority of people like it. I get the odd person commenting like, "Oh, Horizon 2 is a million times better than this," and they have yet to give me a valid reason as to why, except the graphics look a bit better, which I don't really care about.
Hmm.
But you see the majority of people sharing it. Like on Twitter, I've just got one now. It's someone tweeting me the new car that they've been grinding to get or whatever. Say
Yeah.
grinding, it takes like less than a couple of hours to get a higher end car, but it has the. I've been getting a lot of this stuff. Like I never got this with Forza. I've never had this with Need for Speed. Nothing like that. So I don't know. It's like
It's very weird because IGN,
carry on,
yeah, do you
sorry.
want to go on? Yeah, IGN themselves had a kind of challenge series thingy.
Yeah,
I don't know if you've seen that, but it looks like they were having a lot of very much fun. So
I didn't check it
that's
out.
also it was quite fun to watch actually. They had Naomi Campbell, Greg, is it Miller, the
Yeah,
reviewer.
Greg Miller. Yeah.
Yeah, they were all having fun on that game. So I was wondering what happened.
Hmm. It is really weird because the people that play it seem to enjoy it. Like, um, I haven't really seen anyone really, make a video saying this game is terrible, it's the worst game ever.
I've seen a lot.
I haven't seen any, but
These are more of like the kind of underground YouTubers ranting and stuff. But yeah,
okay, yeah, okay, that makes sense. Like, I've seen a lot in Facebook groups and stuff of people saying how the
yeah,
game looks crap, whatever, because it's Ubisoft, because they played the beta and they couldn't finish the first race because it didn't look as pretty as Forza. That's like the
mhm.
main complaints from those groups. But it's still really weird for it to not have sales at all. I can't think of a game that's hidden its sales before like this.
So basically, you're saying they're hiding another thing.
I think they're hiding their sales, and which is weird because they also brought the price down, which also screams, yeah,
Yeah,
it's not doing too great.
yeah. Trust issues here. Hmm.
It is rather strange. But one other thing I was thinking is that maybe what they've also done is they could have lowered it because you can get the game for free if you've got a season pass for Assassin's Creed.
Mm.
But then I looked at Far Cry, and in game that's still £45. So,
Well,
and that came out before it. But that's obviously going to sell ridiculously well. That's probably their best-selling game this year so far. So, it's a little bit weird.
very weird.
I'm hoping that everything's going okay because the game does deserve like to do okay or well at least. You know, it's been in development for such a long time. You can tell that they actually put love and thought into this game rather than just throwing it on the shelf, like every other game recently in the new Forza DLC. But you know, but one thing we wanted to talk about is kind of like, in a way, seeing how the crew could kind of compete in the future to Need for Speed, because we've just kind of been speaking about how the crew's not doing so great, so maybe we might not even have to compare them. But hopefully
Well, it was more of what influences can Need for Speed take from the crew.
Yeah. So, if did you actually follow Ghost on Twitter? Because they tweeted
Well, I
out.
know the only thing I want from Ghost is Need for Speed Underground 3. That's it. I don't want to follow them. I don't care. That's it.
Okay. Well, I follow them on Twitter because they follow me as well.
Okay.
And on the launch day of the crew, they actually tweeted out a picture of them playing the crew. Like, the whole dev team was just sat around on a couch playing the crew.
Sportsmanship.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool because I mean they didn't do that with Forza. so I guess they've been kind of listening into the community of like the people see, oh, that reminds me of Underground, so let's play that game. Hint towards, you know. So it was cool that they're playing it, and hopefully they do take some things from it because it just makes sense. Now, I think the main thing they should take from it is I like the whole idea of, in a way, the upgrade system. It does definitely remind me of the old Need for Speeds, and the new Need for Speeds don't have the upgrade system. Like, Rivals tried to do it, but it really didn't matter that much to upgrade your car because you just eventually got a new one anyway. And you know the currency was all over the place. It took 2 minutes to get all the cars, and so I think what they need to do is take from the balanced currency and the progression of unlocking things, which at the same time is the crew probably also took ideas from the original Need for Speeds to do that. So it's basically learning from themselves, or their own past, or Need for Speed's past, whatever. So I'd like that. I'm not sure the map would be big enough to have like the whole seamless multiplayer thing, because Need for Speed never really has like a huge map. But what I would like is, you know, some form of separate multiplayer, because
definitely.
Having like the seamless one we had on Rivals, it got quite annoying at times, and it was problematic in multiple ways because people would just hit you for no reason and start a pursuit or take you down, and you'd lose all your speed points because they're an arsehole. Or when someone would come near you, the game would slow down and freeze and all this other
trying to sync the networks and that.
And the traffic would randomly drive into you and stuff because it did on their game like ages ago, and there was just a lot. But
man, I always hate these seamless kind of merged single player multiplayer worlds. I hate them because
it was a cool idea. I mean, when I first heard the idea, I was like, okay, that sounds like a cool idea, but it messes up because when, say, someone gets the game late or someone's slower at progressing in the game, it's just gonna, you know, clash in multiple ways because someone's going to be driving around in a Bugatti Veyron while somebody's driving around in, well, hopefully will be like a CRX or a Civic or something, which wouldn't be a good clash. It would be very unfair.
Heavy Bugatti.
But I think the multiplayer needs to be separate. What I liked though is, you know, when they released DLC packs for Most Wanted 2012, you actually had to earn to unlock the new cars on the multiplayer. So you'd have to complete certain events in the first car in the pack, and then the next car in the pack, and you'd unlock the final, which was cool, rather than just being like, here you go, here's it all. Whereas in the single player, it's like, here's everything. So technically, the multiplayer had a better progression system than the single player. But I don't hope they do that. I just hope that they do, you know, the single player and multiplayer separate, but you can take your single player cars into multiplayer and earn money in multiplayer, that sort of thing. That's just the most logical
If
way.
you're gonna, yeah, the perfect example is Grand Theft Auto 5. So obviously you've got the game itself and then GTAO,
Yeah,
and there is not a flicker of interference from the online world apart from when you get those notifications saying, "Oh, your friend is beating your time" or whatever.
yeah.
That is perfect. That is perfect. That's what we need in the next
That
game.
is very good. Yeah. Um, and I mean, I I've always wanted like a racing game that expands. Like that's why the
Yeah,
Crew to me was like yes, and I think Need for Speed could pull that off. Like, as I'm not suggesting microtransactions here, but I mean, so you know, some form of like content updates or updates every month to the game. Like, you know, we've got Drive Club that's getting a new feature each month, for example. Like
hmm,
something to expand it to make me, even if I've stopped playing the game, like say I complete it in maybe a month and I get bored of it, next month I can come on and there's a new feature or a new type of event that's being added to the game or something that kind
yeah,
of, you know, rather than just giving me, uh, you know, that's it, there's your game, you're going to have DLC that's going to give you 5 cars in about a month's time.
yeah. Or they
I
could do something like a challenge tied to it. So
Yeah,
say,
yeah, exactly. That would be
yeah,
like add to like a challenge series, like they used to have
mm,
on Black Box games. Like add to each time you go on, there's like a dashboard or something.
yeah. And they've also
That
got to
would
give a
be
reward of that.
yeah, and you get a
So for
reward.
example, you this vinyl, you get it if you beat this time. Yeah,
That
done.
would be
Come back to the
brilliant.
game.
Yeah. License plates, vinyls, even you know like they had was it Junkman parts that they
Oh
had,
yeah, I remember those. Yeah,
you know, things like
unique
that. That would be pretty
upgrades.
cool.
Mm,
It'll keep you kind of like trying for it and stuff. But
yeah,
that's what the
definitely.
crew's got. It's actually got the it's a sponsored challenge. This one, I think they've got another one coming up though. It's the Xfinity challenge or something. It's supposed to be like some American network provider. I
Mm,
think it's Comcast, something like that. Um, and basically you can win. I think it's like the season pass of the game. You can win, you know, just various things. But it's cool that they've got that because they're going to add some in the future, and
nice.
you know you can win things from it. But I'd rather win in-game things to be honest, rather than like out-of-game things, because you know when you're winning like out-of-game things like season passes, and they said you can win petrol or something. It's like, I'm not really
Yeah.
looking to win petrol on a game. I don't really like racing away to cut corners and try and get as much petrol as possible. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, challenges is definitely something that keeps you going. Like that's the thing that I've been waiting for on Drive Club. Drive Club's got the challenges now. I've just got to have enough time to sit down and play it. But I want to go onto that, and I look at the challenges and it says my friend beat this time on this track. So I'm going to keep going back and trying those. If I got rewards for doing that, I'd probably play it instantly.
yeah,
Like a new license plate or a new car or you know vinyl or anything.
exactly.
So rewards and progression from the crew. uh,
Yeah, I think we agree on that. Yeah, definitely.
yeah, that's probably something. I don't know. What else would you like to come across? You think? Well, obviously the variety in cars. That's one thing. Like
Yeah.
the crew doesn't have a lot, but I mean, you know, the idea of the fact that you can have low end muscle cars. You know, you've got your high end exotic cars if you want them. You've got your tuner cars. Not many of them, but there's there.
Yeah.
Just take the variety from that rather than going high end and exotic only
Mm,
or low end only. Because to be honest, I get very bored of low end only as well.
yeah.
So
Okay.
I want a mix of them.
I've actually been told off for saying that the crew has a lot of cars.
Right. I have been like I was in a comment saying there's a decent amount of cars, 40 cars I think it is, which to me is it's not bad. Like I never complained about Rivals' car count except for the fact that it was split. Like if it wasn't split, that would have been a big car count for me. It would have been fine.
Yeah.
Like because I think it was 20 on each side or something like that, which is kind of, it's. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not
Hmm.
great. I mean, you could have easily made the cop cars into racer cars or whatever.
Exactly. Yeah.
And I was expecting a DLC for it because they did that with Hot Pursuit, I believe. But yeah, like if you think about the fact that each car, not every car has all tuning specs, but say they have 3 customizable specs each. You know, 40 cars with 3 specs each, with 10 bumpers in each spec. That's a lot of parts to
A
make
lot of
for all
work.
those
Yeah.
cars. So
Yeah.
you know, you gotta appreciate the fact that having more parts on cars means less cars technically you're gonna get because they've got to get time from somewhere, and
Yeah.
rather than just having all these cars that I would ever drive, like all the crew cars are pretty unique and you'd actually want to drive them. Whereas, in Forza there's 200 and something. Although that's less than I think was in Forza 4. I still won't drive them all because a lot of them are just boring cars that I don't really care about, to be honest. So I prefer cars that do matter with more parts, I think. So that's one thing it can take.
I gotta say this, man. It's been bothering me for a bit. So I did some research on the crew cars, and a lot of them came up as DLC. Okay, publishers and developers, listen up. You are only hurting yourselves.
Exactly.
So the crew, this game is probably not selling that great right now. But the developers and the publishers, you paid the real life manufacturers for licenses to put these cars in the game. And if your game isn't selling, the base game isn't selling, who the hell is going to buy the DLC, which you're keeping away from the gamers who have got the game?
Exactly. Like, if you think, say, the crew sold... They won't have sold 500,000 because that's what Forza, like, Horizon 2 did, and they gave their numbers. So let's say it sold 250k, and it's sitting around that, and, not even half of the gamers are gonna buy that DLC. Yeah, like I'd say most of the gamers like play it once and put it on sale, like trade it in or stop playing it, or go back to their favorite COD game or GTA or something like that. And then you've got the gamers that really like the game, like myself, that will, buy the DLC. There's going to be like a quarter of them, not even that sometimes, like
maybe even less.
I mean, you've kind of, if people don't, you're not really going to make your money back if your game hasn't sold a lot anyway. See, it's kind of a gamble, really, to just
exactly.
It's weird that they've done that. Like, if you show a car in a trailer, it should be in the game. There's like, if you show something in a trailer, a launch trailer, any like gameplay footage leading up to launch, that should be in the final game.
Yeah.
Don't then, as soon as the game launches, say, hey, remember those cars? Yeah, I know where they are. They're in our season pass. Or the DLC that's coming out in a month. You showed us those cars. Those cars are ready to drive. Why are they not in the game? Like,
that's exactly it.
What annoys me is that... It annoys me because the crew, like, it's probably more Ubisoft's thing rather than the actual developers, because I highly doubt developers will be like, I'm going to pull all this from the game. And
that's why I always distinguish between publishers and developers.
Because, I mean, Ubisoft are obviously out to the big guy deciding what makes money on the game, that sort of thing. Like, I don't know, like, they've already got microtransactions, so that should instantly pay for the majority of the content, or all of it, like, should be all of it. Like, Rockstar, they have not charged for one bit of DLC so far, and they have updated that game a lot. Like, I've seen a lot of people today on websites and stuff saying how they played GTA when it launched and they didn't really like it because it was completely broken, buggy, messed up. But they went back on it recently on the PS4, and now they understand why people like still play that game, because it's finished. They're going to add content. They added content today, like out of nowhere. They've added like 4 cars. You can buy another apartment, loads of bug fixes, a Christmas tree. It's gonna snow around the Christmas. Like, this is free. They've added
that is passion.
A guided missile launcher, like detected mine things. The mines that go proximity mines. That's what I'm thinking. Like, I can't think of. I know their game sells a lot, and a lot of people are gonna buy shark cards or whatever. But you still should still look at that and still.
Yeah.
Like, you release a big game and you add content to that. Like, that base game Rockstar have made is bigger than the majority of games that are releasing, and they're adding content for free.
Yeah.
Like, if you make a solid base game and then go, we're going to release all the content for free, I guess that's another selling point as well. Like, more people are going to buy it because they're going to get more stuff out of it in the future, and it's annoying. Because, obviously, the crew has the season pass, which is 20 quid. And then the microtransactions are on there also. Like, Forza's the same. Forza recently released that DLC. They released a car pass for £20 when the game came out. The game was obviously 50 quid, 40 if you bought it from like online or whatever. And then you've got the VIP pass, which is £16. And then they just released another DLC, which is at least £10. And it's like, okay, so... Like, they don't have the microtransactions as well. They actually removed them, thankfully, because Forza...
Oh, wow, I would
Forza
never
Horizon,
have expected that.
Yeah, I know. Forza Horizon had microtransactions, not in the sense that they are now, in where you can buy cash. It was, it was stupid things like buy to unlock all of the map, or buy to, those really horrible things that EA started releasing, like the complete the game pack things,
Yeah,
where you
yeah.
could pay to buy this pack that completes the game for you and unlocks everything. Like, why would you buy this? I don't understand.
So, wait, you buy it on. Let me get this. Someone's buying an uncompleted game that's supposed to be completed, but they're paying to complete a
Yeah.
game that's incomplete that they've already bought.
Most Wanted had it. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was like, why would you buy this? Like, yeah, you unlock all the cars. What do you do? It's like people might not have enough time to complete the game. It's like, well, why would they buy the game in the first place if they don't have time to complete the game? This game is designed to be open. You can drive to a car, get in the car, and drive off.
Just about to say,
like a bloody Bugatti Veyron from the start. Okay, you had to race against Bugatti for that, but you know what I mean. Like, you could find high-end cars, the Koenigsegg, for example, and you buy a pack that I believe was like £5 to complete the game for you.
unbelievable.
It doesn't give you the trophies.
We're just about to ask.
It doesn't give you the trophy. It doesn't give you any, like, other than the stats on the screen saying 100% complete because you bought a pack. Like,
Yeah.
But anyway,
Ridiculous.
Forza 5 had microtransactions and it had DLC. Now, this was ridiculous because the game released, it was a launch game, so as you can imagine, the next gen tax was insane. Like, it was £55 for the game pretty much at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then the car pass was £40 for 6 months of 5 cars. Like,
Wait, 6 months for 5 cars.
so like each month you get 5
5 cars each month.
for
Okay.
6 months, yeah.
40
So
pounds.
£40. That's the cost of what the game should have been. Except it wasn't. It was more. And they also had the VIP pack, which was £16.99 or something like that as well. So. And like later on this year, because that game launched November. Around mid of this year, you'd think, oh, they're going to release a complete edition and have all the DLC. Now they released the Forza 5 Game of the Year edition. Did that have all the DLC? Did it balls? It had one DLC pack, and you had to buy the rest of them still, and it was more expensive than the normal game. Like, it would have been cheaper to buy the old
don't
game,
understand.
and it had the microtransactions. Like, it's stupid. Like, I don't understand this industry. Anyone that looks at how this industry makes money must just be like, what the hell is this? Who came up with this? Like,
Yeah, man.
oh, let's charge for DLC. Let's charge microtransactions to buy your way through a game. Let's charge packs to complete the game for you. Like, I don't understand. Who though comes home after spending £40 on a game and goes, "This isn't very fun. I wish I was as good as my friend." Buys the complete the game pack and a million credits in microtransactions. People must look at us like we're crazy.
Oh man, this has gone too far.
Like, you should do one or the other, and the one I prefer, I was saying this, like, is microtransactions, because if they're done right, like, they can't just be, they can't be like lathered all over the place, like Need for Speed World, for example. You can't do anything in that game unless you pay for microtransactions. In that game, they lock you out of buying specific cars unless you have paid money. And that just... And it's like, they rotate it every month or whatever. And it's like, they introduce a new car. You have
So
to pay
basically,
for
you're
money
missing
to
out on
get
a
it.
chance to get a specific car then.
Yeah.
You said they rotate... Oh, wow.
They rotate
Wow.
every month. So if they released a car, like 5 new cars, those cars would not be free. Like, maybe one of them, like, not free, but there'd be the paid money, free money. God, free money.
I get you, don't worry, I'm keeping
But
up.
yeah, so like, the paid money ones, you have to use actual money for, and the prices were ridiculous. Like, I think to get a I can't remember what car it was. I think it was Bugatti Veyron, which is the fastest car in that game. I think I would have had to pay 30 quid. Now,
What?
yeah, now I accept expensive microtransactions on Gran Turismo for the fact that you either drive and you get it quite easily, or you pay for it to get it quickly. But if you're locking me out of being able to get it for the money in the game, do not charge me 30 bloody quid on a free-to-play game.
Okay, free to play, fine, but £30 for a digital copy of a Bugatti Veyron, that's almost a full game.
If you save that from when you were a young child and put it in an account, you might be able to buy an actual one. Like, it's absolutely crazy that, you know, if you give us a choice, if you're gonna do DLC, release a season pass maybe a little bit later after the game's come out. At least have one bit of DLC out, I would say, for when you release the season pass. Don't just, here's a season pass, you don't get anything except this exclusive gun that we ripped from the game, so you have to buy the season pass, meaning, like the harpoon gun or something. It's like, that's a really cool gun. Nope. You gotta pay 20 quid for the season pass, and the season pass should be a lot cheaper than the game. It should not be cost the same as the bloody game, Forza.
Yeah. All right, do you want to go on to Grand Theft Auto Heist?
So, it's been a while since GTA came out. Has it been a year? I think over a year.
Over a year,
I'm thinking it's 2 years. I'm like, why am I thinking it's 2 years? But yeah, it's been out a year. Heists were said to be in the game when GTA Online's trailer came out. And I was actually like, people were saying it's not in the game when the game launched. And I was still hunting around, like looking for if I had to unlock it or something. But yeah, it wasn't in the game basically. And they said it's not in the game. We're taking more time to work on it. Now, technically, they were in the game. There's like DNS servers that you could use a while back that would allow you to activate these missions that you couldn't in the past. And the heists were the most basic bloody missions I've ever seen. I'm so glad they did not release them. So it was basically like, you get to this location in your cars that you've modded out. You get into a van, you drive the van to the bank, you shoot people, you go down, you go into the van, you drive back, and that's the mission complete. That was the heist. Like, there was no cutscenes, no, police action. It was just very bland, basic missions.
Terrible.
Terrible. Like, basically copy and paste of what they've already got in the game for normal missions, which I would have been very disappointed about, because the single player heists were so much fun to play, and like they've actually pretty much ported the same like passion into these online heists, because you basically set it up with, you need 4 people, and I think you have to be level 12, and there was a board in where I think the money they got was 680,000, something like that. No, it wasn't. It was more than that. I think it was like 1.6 million or something. Obviously, it's got a split between the 4 people, and I believe Lester, because he like plans all the heists for you and stuff.
Yeah. So
you basically choose roles, and there are 20 heists. Yeah, 20 heists, and they tend to take about an hour each to complete. And if you think there's 4 roles, and there's different scenarios, like there's two ways, 2 ways to go about the heists as well, isn't there, on the single player? So I'm assuming that's the same. So adding all these numbers together, that's a lot of damn content for free, and I'm so glad that it's like a proper expansion rather than like a little update they've been doing. It's like having an MMO expansion or something. Like, you used to get an actual separate CD for it or whatever. But that is a lot of content. So, yeah, I think that's going to be a lot of fun, because I was worried, because people were hyping up the heist for a long time, and they were saying how, it's going to be awesome, and I'm like, no, it's just going to be more missions. It's not going to be anything really exciting. I'm just going to play them once and be like, that was fun. Now I've got money to spend on the world that I've been playing for the past year. But I mean, it's not. It's actually going to be exciting to play them, and that's good, because like, I was looking at it wrong in the fact that I'm just going to be playing these to get money, and that's it. They're going to be boring. So thankfully they're not, and they're taking the time to actually do like a whole proper structure. And I noticed on one of the trailers, I think the only trailer, that
I was just about to
they,
talk about that.
yeah, the character that was organizing the heist, like the main, like there's a person you put in charge of the heist, and it's their apartment, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
And he was talking.
to
So
Leicester.
yeah, he was talking to Leslie. He was talking to his teammates and stuff. Like, have they added voices in?
You sure?
Like, yeah.
I did not notice that.
I think I watched it twice, and I was like, to make sure. I was like, are you talking? So have they added voices? It's just like one voice. It's probably like Nolan North or something, like voicing every GTA character. But I remember in GTA 4 you could choose your voice for your character. They didn't say much. I think there were like 6 voices, but no, or 12 because there were female voices as well. And Rockstar doesn't care about females. But like if they've actually added like full-in conversations, that's a lot of voice work to do as well. Like,
Interesting, yeah.
what would be
What I
cool
did
is
notice, what I did notice
okay.
is Leicester took the piss out of the people who were complaining.
Yeah,
And that was
yeah.
just hilarious to me.
Yeah, I watched. I was like, yeah, he's definitely mentioning the people that are complaining. Like,
Yeah.
I understand the complaint, the fact that those weren't in the game, but I mean, every time Rockstar released an update for on the social club, every single comment, like, it was, "Where are the heists, Rockstar?" It's like, do you really care that much? You've got the biggest game of the year. PlayStation Access just literally gave GTA 5 PS4 Game of the Year for this year.
Wow.
So, like, you know, you've got the biggest game, the most content that's been released out of any of these games, and you're complaining about, like, a couple of missions missing from the game. Like, and they've been adding how much content? Like, they've added more content than games pay. You know, you pay to get other content in other games, like season passes for Far Cry, season passes for Assassin's Creed, and you know, all this. And Rockstar's like, here, have more than that for free. And they're still supporting the single player with all this content as well, which is really cool. So, the heists are finally coming out after. Well, we say announced delays. There's been 2, but there's been a lot more than that, probably internally. But they're finally coming. They've actually got a trailer. They've actually got them all working. So it's almost here, thankfully. It's a bit of a shame, though. I would have liked to do a heist in the snow. They do, like, the snow at Christmas, so that would have been
that
cool.
would be awesome.
Yeah. Hopefully they add that in as, like, an actual weather type eventually. That would be cool.
All right, let's go on to Forza Horizon Storm Island.
Yeah.
I think I'll go first because, as you know, I don't have it. But what I will say is, I watched the trailer, and wow, these guys know how to make flipping awesome trailers.
Yeah.
What I do love is the juxtaposition between, you know, the base game and the DLC. So Horizon 2, you got this advertised as a kind of lively, sunny, vibrant place, and then the DLC was dark as hell, muddy and gritty, and I just loved that. So that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah, I'm you know, happy with the DLC. I haven't played a lot of it. It's because I've been playing the other games, but it's still pretty good. Like, I'm glad that they have added that in, because the rain in, like, the environment in the actual base game, it's not very varied. Like, they say that there's all this off-road, it's actual open world, all this. It's not actual open world. There's actually still invisible walls and stuff on the actual island as well. Like, you'll go do an awesome jump and you're like, yes, poof, hit an invisible wall, drop down, and your dreams are shattered. It's a little bit small. I would have liked to be able to access it without paying for it and then have to, you know, pay to do the events like Midnight Club, but that's not going to happen because nobody else wants to be nice like Rockstar. But I mean, it's good. Like, I'm glad they added it. The only thing is, I hope that they will add, like the town that they've got, the city or whatever, the map, should I say? It's varied in a little bit. Like, it's got roads, fields, and that's about it. Like, it's got some towns that are quite small. It doesn't have any big cities. It doesn't have like any deserty like areas. You know, it doesn't have like snowy mountain areas. It doesn't have any mountains at all, which is a bit weird because, you know, people on that game love drifting. I was speaking to Slaptrain earlier, and he was saying how he's a bit annoyed that there's no drift events. Like the, you know, the Forza community, they just throw out as many drift builds as they possibly can. And you know, there's always drifting videos, and they're most popular on YouTube for Forza. And there's no drift events at all. Like no drift events, no locations really dedicated for drifting except the docks. And I think there was like a little dock that's like at the beachfront dock kind of thing. And then you get style points or something, which are absolutely useless once you've beat the game. So I don't know, it's a bit weird. Like you'd think they'd give them some money or something while they're just playing about drifting in, like the crew does, for example. Like if you're doing anything in the crew, like off-roading, you've seen people do guides like drive around the desert and fling your car about and you get money.
So Storm Island, is it like completely, literally an island separate from the main map?
It is.
Or can you like drive
go
into
to the docks and you press like near a boat or something. It's not actually near a boat, but you press the button and it puts you on a little map, and it's annoying because
they literally had the chance to create anything they wanted on this island, which means a downhill drifting mountain for Slap Train to do his awesome drifts on, and they didn't. Wow.
Yeah. Like.
Oh well.
Every Forza YouTuber I can think of, EK, Slap Train, AR12, they all love drifting.
Yeah,
and,
indeed.
Like. The most popular videos are drifting, and they get the most comments and the likes, and you know, and it's not got anything to do with drifting at all. Like it's an off-road location. I understand it's like a meant to be like a rally pack. There was a rally pack in Forza Horizon, which this is basically the equivalent to that. Like you can get rally tires now, rally suspension, and rally transmission, which I thought was pretty cool. Even to do stuff like even if you got that to play around with on the first island, I thought that was pretty cool, like a cool addition to the game. It should have been free, that bit, but it wasn't, because there's no really off-road tyres on the game, and the game is heavily focused on being able to go on-road and off-road. So I was making a car to go off-road, and we've only got race tyres, which doesn't really make much sense to take it off-road. But I'm glad they added it. I'm a little bit annoyed of how the fact that they've got a car pass. Now, I know this thing's made for cars, and they've got a VIP pass, which gives you extra money when you complete events or whatever. I think it should have been included with the VIP pass, because you get a discount if you've got the VIP pass, but it's a little bit, you know, if I'm paying as much for a VIP pass, it gives me a little bit more money. The DLC isn't that big. It has 5 cars. It's got a little bit of an island. Like I appreciate the fact that they added it in, but it feels like they probably made it in about a month just to get a bit more money from people, because they know people will buy it. I don't know. I mean, it's a good DLC, but and it's a good price technically. It's like if you have the VIP, it's £9, which is, it just makes sense to get it. But it doesn't have enough to really make me go, wow, this is like amazing. I love it. When Rockstar give us more for free.
So does that sum up this episode?
Pretty much does, yeah. So
So viewers, thank you for listening. If you're still here, thank you for keeping up to this point. Just been me and Theo today, and we hope to have EK in the next one. Yeah. And that's it. See you in the next one, guys.
All right. See you guys.